Here's how I operate. I will hear a claim and I will fact check it.
Sure.
And try and dig through the facts to see if there's merit. You will believe what you're told.
So everything.
That's so fucking hilarious. Tim Pool, he will look into the facts. He will dig into the nitty gritty. This just reminds me of that time he was debating Luke Beasley about January 6th and how the Proud Boys and Enrique Tarrio planned an overthrow of the government, and was throwing a hissy fit about how Luke didn't know every single minute detail about that case, right? Luke didn't know anything. Tim knew everything about that case. Lo and behold, Tim looks it up, does a Wikipedia search, and proves Luke right about everything he said. Oh, man. Tim just outright lies, man, all the fucking time. I look at every single little detail. Oh, that's so awesome, dude. Tim Pool is so smart.
On the right when it comes to Donald Trump, there's no merit to it, even though he's a convicted 34-count felon. But those were made up. Right, sure. And then
you don't even know the crime.
I don't have to know the crime to know that a jury found him guilty in a court of law. You can disagree with the outcome.
You do.
I disagree with the
Nelson Mandela was a criminal too. He got locked up.
Hey, sometimes the justice system gets it wrong.
Yeah, except the difference, Tim, is that Trump was not locked up. He was convicted of 34 felony counts and was not locked up. Because in this country, we have a two-tiered justice system where the rich, by and large, get away with their crimes. Not always, but a lot.
I think we could agree on that.
So if you
not my type is a better defense than the glove doesn't fit, I think.
I think the question, you know what? We can just pause right here and say to everybody who's listening, I think my point is I can tell you the facts of these cases and why I have doubts, and you don't know anything about them.
So here's a fact. Donald Trump is a 34-count felon. You can disagree with it, but you can say incorrect till the cows come home. He wasn't sentenced, but he was convicted on 34 felony counts. Now, you can disagree with that. Okay, you can disagree
Name
with
the crime.
That's fine.
Name the crime.
Tim is being such a pedantic loser. He's trying to say, like, if you can't name the crime, then he wasn't convicted. He was convicted. Brian Shapiro doesn't have to know the exact crime for it to be true. Those are two different things. Was he convicted? And what was the crime he was convicted of? Those are two different questions. They're related, but they're different. This is what happens when you debate Tim Pool, is you have to get super pedantic, super specific.
You don't have to name the crime.
Yes,
He's
you
a
do.
34-count felon.
You have to name the crime.
Okay, well, listen.
So again, I will say it to the audience, he doesn't even know what the charge was. He doesn't know who was accused of falsifying what.
I named you a few. I don't have all 34.
He doesn't know who was accused of falsifying what? Trump is found guilty on 34 felony counts. Trump is found guilty on 34 felony counts. Jurors in the New York criminal trial against former President Donald Trump have convicted him of 34 felony counts. See that? Have convicted him. They convicted him of falsifying business records. Everyone knows this, Tim. You know it. Brian Shapiro probably just forgot, exactly what he was convicted of. But I'm sure he was covering it when it happened, when it came out. God, he's so fucking annoying.
So again, I will say it to the audience, he doesn't even know what the charge was. He doesn't know who was accused of falsifying what.
I named you a few. I don't have all 34 charges in front of me, but it doesn't, just because I can't name the charges.
Wouldn't it be prudent of you to actually investigate these things before parroting them to a large audience?
I'm not parroting them. All I'm simply saying.
You can't even explain what your position is.
Just because, here's
what did Trump, let me try this. Let's slow down. What do you think Trump did wrong in that case?
You're talking about E. Jean Carroll, or are you talking about?
No, the business records case. What did he do wrong?
Well, falsifying business records was what he was charged with.
No, what specifically did he do wrong?
What specifically?
What do you take
falsifying records? Falsifying records.
Which records? I'm asking you the specifics of what did you find that he did wrong.
Here's my point.
That's so great, man. If you don't know the type of computer that these records were falsified on, what type of chair Donald Trump was sitting in when these records were falsified, or what type of sushi Donald Trump was being served as he falsified business records, or he directed his accountants or his whoever to falsify the records, then you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And that is what it's like to debate Tim Pool. If you don't know what color underwear Trump was wearing when these records were falsified. You don't know what you're talking about.
Answer for it?
I'm going to answer it for you.
Are you gonna give me a specific example, or are you gonna change the subject again?
I'm not changing the subject. We're talking about this.
So what did Trump do wrong? Say Trump did thing. Tell me.
Okay. Here's the answer that I'm going to give you. I don't know all the ins and outs of this case.
Well, then why are we talking?
Here's what I do know. Regardless of what your opinions are on the case, and what you might think are valid that he didn't do anything wrong, what you might think are valid that he never sexually abused a woman, here's the bottom line, whether you like it or not. A jury found him guilty on 34 counts that you obviously disagree with. Whether I know the ins and outs of the case is irrelevant.
Yep.
The fact of the matter is that he is a 34-count felon. The fact of the matter is that he's a liable sexual abuser. Liable.
Actually, so this is actually legally distinct he
wasn't sentenced. I understand.
Therefore, he's not a felon.
I understand that.
There has to be the final.
I understand.
Right, so he's not a felon.
I've said that multiple
times. So we agree
times.
he's not a felon.
Okay.
Right, but see, he's moving the goalpost again. He was convicted, which you said he was not convicted. And that's just factually incorrect, Tim. It seems like you don't know the details about the case.
The reason why he wasn't sentenced is because he won the presidency.
Well, it's under appeal, actually, and it's been over a year since the appellate court was prepared to issue their ruling.
I'll tell you what,
done it.
If he wins his appeal, I will come on this show and I will say, Tim, I was wrong.
Well,
you were right.
Hold on. We agree, though. He's not yet a felon until he's sentenced.
He wasn't sentenced. I've said that multiple times. A jury convicted him on 34 felony counts.
Of what?
Again, there you go back again, trying to quiz me on what the.
Okay, here's my point.
That's the only point I
don't know why you're here.
I don't know what you mean.
We're not debating.
Okay, well,
a debate's like this. Donald Trump did a backflip, and here's why it was wrong. Well, actually, backflips have been long protected. I'm saying Donald Trump was accused of these specific things, and you say, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, then we're not having a debate.
No.
You're just saying I read in the news Trump was convicted, and I say, okay.
Okay.
Wait, so Tim's saying that you can't read the news and, learn things from that. Now, it's true, some news sources aren't, trustworthy. He himself loves to read sources like the Post-Millennial, which, not the most trustworthy, not the most credible news source.
When an individual is convicted of a crime, it is prudent of a society to analyze whether or not this is a legitimate use of the judiciary, of our legal system.
So you don't like people that accuse other people of things.
And the point I'm making is, I don't believe law dictates morality. I don't believe just because something is legal, it is correct. And I don't blindly trust when an authority figure says, trust me, this person's bad. That's why I oppose the death penalty, because there's going to be some authority figure says, you don't need the facts of the case, kill this man. I'm going to say no. So in the issue of...
Right, except there was evidence produced in this trial. What are you talking about? Trump wasn't summarily convicted of 34 felony counts. There was a trial, there was a jury, there was discovery, there was evidence. Like, what is he fucking talking about?
Of Donald Trump in New York, kill this man. I'm going to say no. So in the issue of Donald Trump in New York, he was not actually legitimately charged under any crime, and it's unprecedented in U.S. history. Trump was charged under 34 counts of misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor. No, Tim, again, that is wrong. Wrongo. Under New York law, a simple falsification of business records without any intent to commit or conceal another crime is a violation of the statute in the second degree, punishable as a misdemeanor. An intent to conceal another crime is an aggravating factor that brings enhanced penalties, such as a felony. The grand jury found probable cause of 34 violations in the first degree, and the trial jury found proof of these crimes beyond a reasonable doubt. So no, they weren't originally misdemeanors. They were felonies.
Trump was charged under 34 counts of misdemeanor, falsification of business records with no underlying crime. They then said...
Okay, with no underlying crime. That itself is also a lie. Trump was charged with 34 counts of violating New York Penal Law 175-10 in the first degree. A violation in the first degree occurs when a person falsifies business records with an intent to defraud. That includes an intent to commit, aid, or conceal another crime. Although paying hush money itself is not a crime, it is a crime to falsify business records, and it is a more serious crime to falsify business records with, as in this case, to intent to conceal other crimes. These include violations of campaign finance laws by accepting donations over the legal limit, and violation of tax laws by inaccurately characterizing the payments as income. So yeah, there was an underlying crime, actually. Despite what I've been told by my life coach, Arun Brown. Tim Pool is one of the dumbest newsmen. I thought he was the greatest newsman. But apparently Arun Brown is a total liar. I'm going to have to find a new life coach. I feel bad for Tim Pool's wife. I couldn't imagine arguing with this guy about, doing the dishes every day. His wife was like, yeah, I washed the dishes today. And he's like, can you tell me the dimensions of every single dish that you washed today? Because if you can't, then I don't believe that you did it. You know nothing about washing the dishes. But it seems like this is what Tim Pool does in every single debate he's in. If you don't know every single, atomic detail about anything, then you know nothing about that case. When it seems like Tim Pool himself often doesn't know very salient aspects of topics that he's talking about. So much for the meritocracy, I guess, right, guys? I mean, you can know pretty much nothing and still make millions of dollars. So if any of you guys out there want to start making tons of money and tricking meemaws and peepaws into believing the dumbest shit, buy a microphone, because apparently it's this easy.